Now tuned into the greatest. Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. We got a great episode for you today, man. But first, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast. You know, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like, you dislike, or even if you just want to outsmart me or share your opinion, give us a call. 219-413-9405. Now, look, it's the playoffs. It's win or go home. We've seen a lot of teams get eliminated. It was a great weekend. The Lions got their win. The Eagles about to get their L right now against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game is currently going on. The Buffalo Bills just won. They beat the Steelers. A lot of different games. So we got to touch on all these different games. Just a quick breakdown, kind of see where I was right, where I was wrong with these predictions. So that's what we're going to touch into first. We do have some voicemail callers that called in. Got to show them some love. Got to play their voicemail back and respond to that. So we're going to see what goes on. But first things first, we got to acknowledge the greatness that happened in the matchup between the Lions and the Rams, bro. I said the Rams were going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions won. I ain't going to sit here and cap. But the thing is, this was a great game. I called the airstrike, and that's very much what it was. Both teams was letting it fly, and damn it, boy, I know y'all was scared. Anybody who watched the Lions and was going for the Lions, you cannot sit here and tell me you wasn't a little afraid watching Matthew Stafford sling the rock downfield play after play. I mean, the Lions secondary is exposed. That is an area where they have to improve. I get the Super Bowl dreams and all of these win after wins, which can very much happen, which I'll get to in a second. But damn it, if they gonna do anything, they gotta tighten up in that secondary because, boy, Stafford took advantage of them. And that kind of thing has been happening throughout the year. We've seen the Bears kind of fly it out against them. Even though they ended up winning the game, the Lions won the game, but they were another team that comes straight off the top of the head that was really letting it fly against the Lions. So other than the defense and the offense rolling, there wasn't too much running going on, which I kind of anticipated as well because both teams have a solid defensive line. Obviously, the Rams, Aaron Donald over there, he's solid on that defensive line. They got a stand-up up front defensive line and linebackers over there with Los Angeles. So I was sure they weren't really going to run the rock over there. And same with the Lions as well. They have a pretty solid set of defensive linemen and linebackers over there. So I didn't think it was going to be too much running allowed on their end. However, the only flaw that I seen from this game was the Lions secondary getting exposed, but it's also hard to guard that when Stafford is putting the ball in the right areas at the right time. You mess up one little bit and you lose it. You're getting taken advantage of. Pause. But you mess up a little bit and it's over with. So, I think it's good. I do think the Lions can go the distance, especially if they go on to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Bucks, they don't have as solid as the defense as the Rams have when it comes to crunch time situations. Obviously, we've seen the Lions stand tall, which they've done multiple times throughout the season. Kudos to them there. And that's an area that I've congratulated them on and applauded them on because I've seen that sort of consistency throughout the year. They've had some bad weeks, of course. There's some down weeks where they've taken some time off, but when you look at game after game and you look at the schedule and the games they've won, the tough matchups that they've had, typically anytime it came down to the wire, the Lions have stood tall and showed what they're really made of. So, it was a solid win for them. I'm definitely happy they got the win. Of course, I give the Lions a lot of trouble. I ain't going to sit here and lie, but I give them a lot of hell because I do want them to be good deep down. I want them to win ball games deep down. I want them to actually be a solid team and a consistent team, which they have been. So anytime I see a flaw, I immediately get a little scared that they about to start being bad again. And I know some people know what I'm talking about because this has been the norm year after year, but it's hard to kind of break that mold. So, I'll cheer for the Lions. I ain't going to sit here and say I'm a diehard fan, but they are a hometown team. So, of course, I got to cheer for them a little bit. But that was the Lions game. They won 24-23. Now they're going to take on the winner of the Eagles or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, it's looking like the Buccaneers are about to win this game. It's the second quarter. They're up 16-9, and from the play that's been going on, they've kind of been outplaying the Eagles, and the Eagles look pretty bad. Let's just call it for what it is. But look, there was another game that happened. The Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, I loved watching this game here. I loved it. I loved every single second of watching this game because, man, the Packers blew the Dallas Cowboys out 48-32. And PSA, Packers got them another one. I'm going to tell you that right now. They got another one. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to now Jordan Love. They got another elite quarterback in their organization. And damn it, boy, the NFC, y'all got it. I feel bad for y'all, boy. Everybody in the NFC, y'all got to watch out because what we seen that man do to the Cowboys was nothing more than amazing. It was. I think I said that wrong, but it was amazing. I put it that way. I don't know what I was trying to explain, but if you get nothing out of that, just know Jordan Love played an excellent game, man. And he was making throws off his back leg. He was making throws on the run, very accurate throws downfield, putting the ball where it needed to be, remain cool, calm, and collected whenever Dallas Cowboys collapsed the pocket on him. Like, it was amazing from what I seen. And I tell you, man, you squint a little bit, you see a glimpse of Aaron Rodgers, especially on them back leg throws. Those throws where he was running and moving out the pocket and then just tossing it off his back leg, throwing it downfield. I'm talking about 40, 50 yards deep, turning to a touchdown. Oh, man, that looked like Aaron Rodgers, bro. That looked like Aaron Rodgers. And as far as the Cowboys, they got a lot of different things to figure out. One of the things I will say about the Dallas Cowboys before we move on, though, because I don't want to stay too much on the same subject, but with the Cowboys, a lot of people put blame on Dak Prescott, which it was Dak Prescott's fault. Don't get me wrong. The man threw 2 crucial interceptions when they still had a chance to strike and improve in the game. So it definitely was Dak Prescott's fault. Don't get me wrong on that. However, I will say a lot of the issues within the Cowboys right now resides within leadership. Mike McCarthy is not the answer for the Dallas Cowboys. There are other quarterbacks in the league who are far less talented than Dak Prescott, but still thrive because the leadership is at a certain standard where it helps these guys thrive. Like, for example, I don't think Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Obviously, you can make the argument, especially the way Goff has been playing. But when it comes down to skill, and the things that one guy can do and the things the other guy can do, I think Dak Prescott is a better quarterback. I've seen Dak go off. I've seen Dak make great throws. I've seen him play great. And obviously, we've seen him play bad. But ultimately, if he had the correct guidance to help him in the offensive play calling and also to just gauging what's really going on the field, I think that could be so much better than what he really is. So that, to me, is not all on Dak Prescott. A lot of that is in the leadership issue, starting from the head coach, Mike McCarthy. He has to be gone because there's been times we've seen Dak dominant, but in the game the other day against the Packers, who have a great defense, I'll give kudos to them, he was very jittery. He was very quick to throw the ball, throwing it anywhere, throwing it literally all over the field and not in a good way, literally just tossing the ball. And it's like, you know, you can tell he was very panicky and he was not locked in. Him and CeeDee Lamb was struggling to connect on certain plays. And that's stuff we didn't see throughout the regular season. It was the opposite. Him and CeeDee Lamb was in sync all regular season. But again, this is what the Cowboys do. And I think it's something within the leadership because if you have a correct leader, they're going to make sure that everything is intact for your team to succeed. I'll also put some of that blame on the front office because they've been dealing with this year after year after year after year. Every year, the Cowboys have a great regular season, no matter what the record is. They're good in the regular season. They thrive in the regular season, whether it's 10-7 or whatever their record was now. I think it was around the lines of like 11-4 or something like that, or 12, something like that. I don't know. They had a pretty good record, but despite the record that the Cowboys have, they always get that first round exit. And I'm not upset at it. I actually love that it happens, but to me, boy, you got to be a silly dude to be cheering for the Cowboys at this age. Look. I put it this way: if you were born. If you're old school, if you're OG, you old school, you know, you watched Emmitt Smith, you watched Troy Aikman, all of those guys, and you cheer for the Cowboys, that's different. you've earned that right to really be a Cowboys fan because they were good at that time. That was the primetime Cowboys, America's team. I get that. But now, if you was born after 95 and you still cheering for the Cowboys, damn it, that's a shame. You need to pick another team. You need to go elsewhere because what incentive do you have cheering for the Cowboys, bro? You ain't never seen them be good. You ain't never seen the Cowboys thrive in the playoffs. And some could say the same about the Lions fans, but, hey, it is what it is. Look, we got some voicemail callers, though. So let's play these voicemail callers back. We're going to hear what they got to say. I know some of them was hyped up about the Lions, but let's go ahead and play it back. Here's the first one. Let's do it.
This is the biggest Detroit Lions fan ever.
Let's hear it.
Say a podcast, you really thought Stafford was going to do it, but he went home with an L.
He did.
Season over with. Cancun on 3.
1, 2, 3.
One thing I'd like to say, he did have a good game, though. Short passes was crazy. Puka getting extra yards. Him being able to take a bunch of hits and be able to get up. I would say Stafford is really resilient. But
absolutely.
Defense is way more resilient, and the Detroit Lions are way more resilient. I got my money all on Jared Goff. We'll go back next week, do the same thing. They count us out all the time. People just hate the Lions, but you see what we did. Manny, next week, I hope you're rooting for the Lions.
I am rooting for the Lions. I'll tell you that right now. Next week, I'm rooting for the Lions, especially because I don't want the Eagles to win. I don't want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win. I think the Lions literally have a good shot at going to the Super Bowl and probably winning. If you're at the bowl game, you have a good shot of winning because you're actually playing in the game. But I'll explain a little bit more of that. I know we got more voicemail calls, but as far as giving the respect to Stafford, I salute to that. A lot of people was really dogging Stafford just because, it's the Rams, it's a playoff game. They didn't want him to actually win, all of that, which I get. I understand that, but nothing like showing respect to a great competitor, which Stafford clearly showed he was in this game because he was dotting y'all boys up. I know he had some Lions fans nervous. So don't sit there and be lying to me and be talking about, I was cool, calm, and collected the whole time. No, I know Stafford had y'all boys nervous because he was out there slinging the rock. But anyway, we got another voicemail call.
Your favorite Neo. The Lions are the greatest team to ever touch a football. They go all the way. We winning it all.
Here we go.
That's it. That's all. Manny. Manny. Talk a while from your uncle to your child. It's the podcast to find out how.
Oh man, y'all are crazy. I already know who it is. Y'all are insane for that. You know what? Again, Lions can actually go to the Super Bowl, but as far as the greatest team to ever touch a football, bro, chill out. Come on now. I mean, you still got plenty of things to be worried about here. Now you got to make me get all technical because you're going to see, I get it was a great win. It was an important win. You cheer for your team. First playoff win in 30-something years. You don't get too hyped now. Don't forget what cloth y'all really cut from. This is the problem here. This is why I don't like some of y'all Cowboys fans because it's the same thing. Don't forget your history. Don't forget your lineage of what's really been going on with this organization. So before you start talking about, we're going to the Super Bowl, do not forget that history, boy. It took y'all 30-something years to win another playoff game. So chill out with all of that. Chill just a little bit, bro. All right? You can celebrate. I'm all for celebrating. And as I'll say it again, I believe the Lions can actually go to the Super Bowl, especially if they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They can beat the Buccaneers because, again, they're not really on the same level. I think Lions are more talented individually and as a team, and they play with more grit. They play with a lot of effort, and they play with a lot of intensity. So that's one of the things I think separates the Lions from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Eagles are horse shit right now. Pardon my language. I know I'm trying to do better in terms of cursing and stuff, but Eagles, they've been terrible, bro. Eagles is awful. So I don't think the Eagles are much competition to anybody. And as we look right now, they losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as of right now, still 16-9, but you got to just chill a little bit. And then if y'all beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, y'all got to go play the 49ers or the red hot Green Bay Packers. So, hey, slow your roll a little bit. Take this game by game, all right? Talk to me game after game. I hope the Lions win, but it's when people get to talking like that, bro. I think it's with any NFL team, though. I don't think it's just the Lions or the Cowboys. I'm really sure it's any NFL team when people start jumping the gun like that. But I'm going to move on. We got one more voicemail call. Let's play it. Here we go.
Yeah, this is Ian.
What's the deal?
Basically, the Lions won. I just came here to pop my shit. I don't know much more to say. You doubted them all season. They're here now in the conference. You feel me? Divisional. We're gonna show out. Be in the conference championship. That's about it, brother.
Okay, I can respect it, and I respect it. See, that's how you come correct when your team win. You be proud, you stay facts, and you say what it is, and I can salute to that. Lions, they did their thing, and as you was right, and I accept that you called me out. I was talking crazy about the Lions. I was talking a lot of trash about the Lions, honestly, bro. Like I ain't gonna sit here and cap, especially on weeks they lost. I'm like, all right, now. This next week is a test, a bounce back week. So kudos to that. I do think that, again, I'll say it again. I even agree with you. I think they can go on, but take this game by game. Don't get too happy about this first win against the Rams, bro. Got to take it game by game because anything can happen in the playoffs. Every game matters. Every second matters. So people celebrating this win, but remember to keep this higher standard. Y'all don't want to just make the playoffs and win in the play. Y'all want to go all the way to the Super Bowl. So keep that higher standard. I'm gonna leave it there. I ain't gonna talk no more trash about the Lions. I ain't gonna say they bad. I ain't gonna say they gonna lose. And I didn't say they were gonna lose any of these games. I'm just saying you actually have to play the game before you say this team is going to win. You got to watch how it plays out a little bit. So who knows? There's been times in the regular season where they looked like the best team in the NFL, and then the following week, they ended up being trash. So, hey, take it game by game. That's all I'm going to say. But look, other than that, man, look, that's all the voicemails we got. If you heard something you agree with, disagree with, like, you dislike, or just want to outsmart me, go ahead. Shoot me a call, 219-413-9405. We'll play your take back on air and respond. Also, too, man, feel free to just drop an opinion on it. If you listen to the show, you like the show, or maybe you don't like the show. Maybe you like, bro, you trash. Go ahead, shoot me a call, 219-413-9405. But look, we got some news for the run coming up, and there was a few more games that we do want to touch on. Obviously, the Texans being one of them, the Chiefs being one of them, and we're going to touch on all of those in just a sec, but we're going to take a quick break, get you some news, and then come back from halftime. But right now, it's halftime, baby. We'll be right back. All right, and news for the run. Let's get into it. All right, starting off with the NBA. There was a trade alert. The Detroit Pistons have made a trade. Marvin Bagley III and Isaiah Livers and 2 second-round draft picks were traded to the Washington Wizards for Gallinari and Mike Muscala. Now, with this move, the Pistons are said to have freed up over $65 million in cap space. All right, now going to the NFL. NFL prospect Caleb Williams has officially declared for the 2024 NFL Draft. Caleb Williams, he once said he wanted assurances that the Chicago Bears would trade the number 1 pick before he declared for the NFL Draft. So this tells me nothing less than the Bears are trading that number 1 pick, which is a good thing. I vouch for it. All right, and the Buffalo Bills, they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 in the wild card playoffs matchup that happened earlier today. And it was low-key a solid season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so kudos to them. I give a lot of that credit to Mike Tomlin because he definitely did not have the talent on that roster. Now, the Chiefs, they eliminated the Dolphins 26-7. The Lions, they eliminated the Rams 24-23. Texans, they beat the Browns and eliminated the Browns 45-14. And the Packers, they beat those Cowboys 48-32. It was such a blowout and a couple of good games to watch and tap into. When you finish listening to this, I'll put it that way. You watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. They are playing right now. It's halftime. Tampa Bay is still winning 16-9 right now, but that game is going pretty well, and I'm anticipating the Buccaneers to win that game because Eagles, they've been struggling, man. And meanwhile, as they've been struggling defensively, passing the ball, running the ball, all these different things that they were doing great in the beginning of the season, they're doing the complete opposite. So it's tough for me to expect Philly to come back. And clearly throughout this game, they've also been struggling. So I hope Tampa Bay actually win as well. This way, it's an easier road for the Lions to go further and further. So, it would be a good look for them. But ultimately, I hope this second half is a lot better than the first half. I just want to see a good game, truth be told. But one of the games here that was very, very interesting to me was the Chiefs and the Dolphins game. Chiefs won 26-7. This was a cold game. It was -30. People couldn't even drink beer at the game. People couldn't even drink water at the game because that's how cold it was. It was freezing before you could even get 2 sips out. So, it was a dope game. And I enjoyed watching this game, but ultimately, exactly what I said was going to happen ended up happening. The Dolphins, they were just stuck throughout the game. They don't play good in the cold, as I mentioned. They were really stuck. They couldn't move the ball, and they couldn't really capitalize on anything happening for third down in times where they really could have made a difference in the game. Now, they stayed in striking range throughout the game, and I thought that helped a lot. And it helped, when you're watching the game and looking at the game, it helped keep things intense and keep things interesting. But ultimately, they couldn't find open guys. They were 1 for 12 on third down conversions. They couldn't convert on crucial downs at all. And a lot of that was because the Chiefs defense is tough. I keep telling y'all, Chiefs defense is underrated as hell. They're good. That defensive front is nice, bro. They get to the quarterback. They put pressure on the quarterback. And as you've seen, the secondary held up their own end of the bargain as well with locking up Tariq Hill, locking up all these receivers who are big playmakers for the Dolphins, but they kept them guys contained and they kept them in front of them. So it was a great game for the Chiefs. And man, I enjoyed it. And as far as, the game and actually everything that happened, Dolphins actually had a chance up until the fourth quarter, but once that happened, man, once the Chiefs scored in that last quarter, it was pretty much a wrap after that, bro. The Chiefs, they got everything they wanted throughout the game. Obviously, there was some controversial calls from the referees, which I thought could have been a little bit better, but when Chiefs came out from the start, they looked like the cold didn't really affect them. They came out with aggression. They came out with a tone to set. Meanwhile, the Dolphins came out a little flat. They came out as if, damn, y'all, we really got to play in this cold weather. And, it's tough, man. It's tough. Chiefs is a good team. They really locked in, and they looked a little bit like what we expect from the Chiefs come postseason, which is kind of scary because when they go on to play the Bills, I definitely see them beating the Bills this time around. It'll be in Buffalo, which is a slight change because usually it's in Kansas City the last few times these teams have faced off. But it'll be interesting to see because the Bills, you never know what kind of team you're going to get with the Buffalo Bills. They're a very talented team, but ultimately one game they're good, the next game they're bad. So it'll be cool to see. But ultimately, I think the Chiefs will end up beating the Bills in this next round of the playoffs here. But another great game that I saw here was the Texans and the Cleveland Browns. Oh, man, I got to give credit here where credit is due. Dog, CJ Stroud is an absolute animal. This man balled out. I said the Browns would only lose if they beat themselves. And guess exactly what happened? They beat themselves. They began to throw interceptions. They turned the ball over. They did not protect Flacco. They were sloppy with the ball. On defense, they were making silly mistakes. And CJ Stroud took advantage of each and every one of those mistakes that they made. This game was crazy to watch. Watching this man throw the ball like that was absolutely insane. A lot of people were concerned because he is a rookie quarterback and, the experience whole thing. And I even said it. I'm like, I'm kind of shocked because CJ Stroud doesn't have that much experience. So, he can beat you. They've been hot. They've been playing good. But ultimately, I expected the Browns to win this game. So I was wrong here. But man, CJ Stroud did not disappoint in this game when watching it. And I really enjoyed watching this. So Texans, they go on to play the Ravens in this AFC divisional game. And boy, I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. Ravens are good. And I hope Ravens take it all. I got my Ravens hat on right now, damn it. But they can't play around. They cannot play around. You play around with this Texans team, you will lose. You will lose. So I hope the Ravens come out sharp. I hope they come out with aggression. I hope they come out intense. Other than that, If they do those things, they'll win this game. But you can't get comfortable. You can't get relaxed with playing against the Texans because, as you see, they can strike fast and they can score. CJ Stroud in that offense, man, that's a talented team over there. They're kind of scary, so it'll be nice. But I enjoyed this weekend ultimately. If you have any takes to share, you want to just drop an opinion on something I said, a quick take I said, if you disagree, you agree, maybe you think the complete opposite, go ahead, shoot us a call, 219-413-9405. I'll play your take back on our next episode later on in the week. But until then, man, no, it was a great slate of games that we got to watch. I'm gonna finish out, watch this Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be super cool. But look, in the meantime, follow me on Instagram at The Run Podcast. You can follow my personal as well at I am Manny Wilson. But until then, man, we'll be back later on this week, and so on and so on and so on.